Okay, thanks, Joe. So, good morning, ladies and gents. My name's Allan Paton. I run HP Aruba Networking's UK and I business on SDWAN and SASE. I've been part of this business now for 3.5 years. Prior to that, I ran Riverbed and a few other startup companies prior to that, always specialising in application network performance and wide area networking. So I'm one of the SMEs within the global business team. What I'm going to talk to you about today is why SD-WAN and why SASE and how it's a core part of your business transformation plans around all the challenges all of you face as IT leaders today. I'm going to try and run through a small subset of slides and hopefully leave some time at the end for any questions. We're also at a stand today with one of my business partners called Softworks on the left-hand side, going to the main auditorium. So, challenges. We've been into COVID, we've come out of COVID. Digitisation, transformation planning all got held up whilst everyone went back to their home. Everyone's now starting to do that. Work from home, hybrid, edge worker. So therefore there's a significant challenge around how IT deliver services coming out of that massive rush to get people out of the office. So you see as part of that transformation, you think about your application strategies. Think about your office strategies. Think about how your subcontractors access your core business applications and how that workplace has changed at such pace. IT is expected to deliver at pace to support how the business is having to change. So you think about some of the challenges you're seeing here, transforming to cloud services. Are you building a multi-cloud strategy? Are you seeing your cost models associated with cloud ramping up? Are you now starting to look at coming back to a traditional data centre offer that's now providing data centre as a service? That's one of the changes that HPE is going through with something called GreenLake, which is storage as a service. Everything that you want from HPE, be it a server, a switch, a router, an access point, SD-WAN or SASE, is available as a monthly recurring service, hosted inside a UK data centre or a data centre globally of your choice. So HPE are going through a massive transition at the same time. You're also seeing on the networking side, connectivity. My SE team are all using Starlink today as part of internal demo facilities. Some of them are using 4G, 5G LTEs attached to their devices as well as using their basic public broadband. We have enterprise clients today doing exactly the same thing. So rather than using a legacy connection type like an MPLS connection, they're going to basic broadband, or they're using their 4G data services to build that core network. And we've got great examples if we have time to go through those type of use cases. So that's some of the challenges that we see. You then add that security challenge. Bring your own device was the first thing that came around a number of years ago. You have multiple devices, you have OT equipment that is connecting to the network, providing statistics and information back to a central location, and they're accessing lots of different applications, and your applications reside data center, cloud, multi-cloud services. So the challenge around securing that is one of the core challenges. If you then summarise that in a really complicated technical slide, right, you have connectivity challenges. Historically, all of your data reside in a data center. Your network would connect branch to data center or office to data center or offshore location to data center, and then it would go out to the internet. With the changes you've seen already, those applications aren't in your data center, but you're still backhauling traffic. So one of the technologies I'll talk about is software-defined wide area networking. That platform or that technology came around 5 or 6 years ago, and the core design around it was using any type of connectivity to connect to your applications by bypassing traditional network providers. And then it was a mixture of on-premise workload, off-premises, your IaaS, your SaaS, your internet traffic. And it was designed to resolve some of these challenges in the bottom left, right? Latency, bandwidth constraints. Oh, you know that slide. So then as you look at that outcome on that previous slide on the challenges organisations face, there's 8 pillars that we talk about when we engage with a customer. If you look at the top left, securing your applications regardless of where they reside. Visibility of all of your applications on your network. Sometimes that can be a challenge from a cultural perspective. Network guys don't really care about applications. Application guys don't care about network. But these platforms give you a level of visibility you wouldn't get from traditional monitoring. Inspection of all that traffic. What is that traffic leaving my premise? Where is it going? And who is sending that traffic? How simple is it for me to monitor that? Do I have a solution that means I go to one place and I can see the current health of my infrastructure? Then adding that to the security element, I need to ensure that those SaaS-based applications, we are getting the performance we expect out of them. And some of that is how I connect to it. How is my automation engines operating to support my business? Because my applications are changing, my network connectivity performance is changing, and am I seeing that real-time performance over all of those different connectivity types I mentioned at the start, such as Starlink, right? And then, am I getting that optimized connectivity to my infrastructure as a service? Because I've outsourced, I've located all my devices in a certain data center. Therefore, you're looking at the strap line at the bottom, optimized connectivity to any application, regardless of where it resides, cloud or on-premise. So the two solutions that we look at to cover that. So I'm part of an acquisition that HP made over 3.5 years ago, a company called Silver Peak, which is one of the top right Gartner Magic Quadrants for WAN optimization and SD-WAN. We've just purchased another company in the last 2 months around SASE. Now, the reason I'll explain the SASE piece. The reason why we did that was HP. That's why I asked at the start who knew Aruba, who'd used them before. So Aruba is traditionally known as top of the range, top performing Wi-Fi, LAN switching, IoT solutions. They purchased the company I work for to give them the wide area network element. Also, we sit inside the wider HPE. The bit that we didn't have was the SASE, Secure Services Edge. So a company we've just released to market in the last month. So you've got left-hand side, you've got that cloud security element. This is securing all of your applications, regardless of the device, agentless or agent-based. You're doing cloud access security broker. You're doing legacy VPN replacement. You're doing user experience. And you're doing the final one on the VPN replacement. So that's your cloud-based solutions for managing all of your security. And the right-hand side is where we're traditionally known as is the software-defined wide area networking. That's where we replace, as you'll maybe hear from other vendors, legacy Cisco routers, as I like to call it, or to use the word legacy when they say routers every time I see them. This is an application-aware solution that manages your network based on applications, and it's all based on business intent. Simplified design model, all managed by a centralized management platform with advanced security and WAN optimization. So that's the two core products. Now, if I look at the SD-WAN piece, I'll summarize that quick. I've covered some of this already. This is replacing your legacy router. And we talk about adaptive internet breakout, which means that single device looks at all of your connectivity options that you've connected to the appliance and moves the applications based on your business intent, because everything we build within this platform is based on a template. So you have, let's say, core business applications, voice and video security, internet access, cloud applications, all with a specialized template, which has 6 or 7 key elements you have to select. Drag and drop creation. You push it out to the estate, and it manages the entire connectivity to all of your locations. Very slick way of doing it. And if you've got historically like your cloud security brokers there, your direct to internet like your 365, it makes decisions as soon as it sees the first packet. So very intelligent way of building very complex networks. And it is one of the market leading products in the market today. So that's how we solve the networking challenges. And this means you can build a network based on any connectivity type with the mandated security. The bit that we've just bought is to fill this gap in here. We've always been known as best of breed, and we've always partnered incredibly well with the vendors in this space. So the core vendors I work with today would be Netscope, Zscaler, Checkpoint, Palo Alto Prisma, and Cisco Umbrella as and when acquired. That's the gap we've just bought to replace, so we have a single vendor approach. Now, if any of your Gartner have a Gartner contracting piece and you look at what they talk about from a Magic Quadrant, we've always been hammered because we didn't have a SASE offering of our own. Because Gartner loved the whole firewall strategy, cloud security strategy. We now have a fully entrenched firewall capability in the solution, and we've just created the SASE solution as well. So that pushes us further in Gartner's top right quadrant again. So if we look at that product, this is why it's different. So if any of you have looked at this market before, the reason why we bought this company, they started from the ground up. They've created a SASE platform with a single user interface. Some of this market today, they have 5 or 6 different interfaces to do the one thing, or they've acquired. This is a single solution SASE platform. Starting off with Zero Trust Network Access, that's around legacy VPN, which we'll talk about later on. But it has the core tenets of a fully SASE platform today. And we have referenceability clients globally today on this product, and it's only been in the market for 2 years. So we've acquired somebody that's moved at pace and delivering capability at pace. And you'll see how quickly we will integrate that into our overall solution. So simple platform, simple policy and simple inspection profile. High performance solution, they built it so it has access to, I think it's over 150 points of presence, so we don't suffer from latency and delay when you're going via that port to get to your internet breakout or your application specific. Built in the user experience monitoring solution as well. So it's a really interesting way of doing it. Now, the first challenge we see that facing today, so again, if we talk about COVID, right? Most people everyone went home. Everyone probably purchased or used a VPN solution of some sort to connect back to the office. And they made buying decisions at pace because they had to. But for those of you who have to manage a large number of staff on a VPN client, it's not the most simplest approach to taking things, right? And that's where the rise of Zscaler and Netscope and other suppliers came to the fore. What we see it now when we look at this market space, this is some of the analytics from some of the, I think it was Forrester this report came from. They're classed as one of the biggest security risks in IT today because of how they're configured and how simple it is to break them, how it has to be backcalled, right? And how the stack's managed and how the gateways and logistics are set up because you have to have your concentrators around it as well. So we see that as a business challenge. This is one of the areas where this product that we're talking about today has been incredibly successful because of the user interface, how it's deployed via a single platform. And it's all software, no hardware involved in it whatsoever. So, summary of that product, why it's different. And this is important for those of you using VPNs today. Standard VPN capabilities don't have the ability to support legacy applications. They don't offer deep packet inspection to do further analytics. They don't do per port and per protocol, right? You see on the right-hand side, we cover all of the major needs of a core VPN solution today. That's why this little bit of the full product has been incredibly successful today as a replacement for legacy and replacement for the existing vendors today, right? They're in the market space. Again, this is why we purchased this solution. So the good thing here, and the way and I mentioned this earlier on, as the Edge Connect function, we have an ability to integrate with multiple third-party solutions today, right? So a number of my SD-WAN customers today would be a Zscaler client for SASE, or Netscope, or Cisco Umbrella, or see a number of them on there, even Palo Alto, right? So we've always been bring your own technology. We're now providing the market with choice on the back of market pressure to have a single platform. And for people who would use us and another vendor, you have that challenge of vendor clash to some extent when you have a blame game and well, it's actually your technology that's causing the performance issue, no, it's your technology. And then you have that bun fight in the middle and you as the customer going, I just want my network to work. I just want my applications to operate. This is another reason why we made the acquisition. But we have a full support package. We support all of these suppliers today. The good thing with the Aruba platform, we have advanced SD-WAN. We have something called Edge Connect Branch, which is integrated into the Aruba stack. So if you were a Wi-Fi client of ours or a LAN switching client, we have a management platform today. We also have a basic SD-WAN solution which fully integrates to that platform. So good for the SME market. We also have the ability to create a micro branch, which basically has an access point in your home office, all integrated to this solution. And then we have our VPN replacement side of things. So that's the overall package of technology stack we have today, which makes us probably, I would suggest, the only vendor that has that complete end-to-end approach from user experience all the way to cloud to data center. Other aspects of our technology stack, I don't charge for training. something we've done since Silver Peak days, going back to way back before 2018. We've got a huge customer base who takes that capability to learn yourselves. So as part of our, say it's a selling tactic, I'd probably be lying if I said it wasn't, but as a customer, you can put your staff to go and test the market. So we run half-day workshops just to show tasters on this technology stack. And we're integrating the SaaS other things part of that half-a-day package. So we run these classes every month in the UK. We have upwards of 30+ delegates every month just coming to test the market. And then they can go on and do all the advanced training we offer, almost up to, well, design level consultancy, which is a 5-day course. We don't charge for it because we recognise this is one of the biggest changes in the market today. Again, legacy routing, when I build everything based on IP addresses, is not the future. VPNs, legacy stuff is not the future. Cloud security platforms is the way everyone's going. Firewalls are dead. You put your applications in the cloud, you secure them there. This is why we're providing this level of education to customers and prospects, because it gives them the value proposition of work with our brand. And then a reminder, that's why I asked before some of you come in. Aruba as an entity of HPE is over 7,000 employees. We're part of a 65,000 staffed company as HPE. Zerto are next door to us in the stand today beside Softworks. They're another HPE company. We're all led by Antonio Nero, the HPE CEO, who talks and proposes what we do as network as a service, everything as a service. His thought leadership in the market today is recognised ahead of the curve of how quickly we're changing the way the market adopts technology. Hence why we're going through this acquisition of other technology stacks to bring our portfolio to the wider audience. Any questions on what I've covered today? Hopefully that's given you a little taster into what we're doing and what we're doing differently in the market today. We have referenceability in the Scottish market, in the UK market. We have oil and gas clients. The Scottish Government is one of my biggest clients. So if those of you who are interested or attended COP26, that COP26 network was built on my platform. Even the First Minister has one of my devices in her, the core home in Edinburgh as part of their secure network because of how we do security. And we have clients across central government, defence, large enterprise. So we've got a really interesting client base that will happily talk about their experience of working with us as a vendor. Any questions? Yes?
Back further, it's when you, the one before this, I think it is, yeah, this one here. So what interested me here was the agents list web access in RDP. Now, ZTNA needs some form of enrollment and authorization, which requires an agent. Yep. So how are you delivering agentless in an environment that actually needs an agent?
This is where I give my hand up and say I'm the commercial side of the business, right? Not a pre-sales engineer, right? It's one of the core parts of the office. So we're offering this out to people who do OT networks as well, right? Dumb terminals. So the agents is a core part of that requirement. But I can certainly get an answer on how we do it. If you want to come and join us in the session, right, outside, all my pre-sales guys in Forks are in Barcelona right now at their global technical event to get all their updates. But I can take that away and come back to you, Malcolm. Yeah, not a problem. Aye.
Because it's, you're right, for stateless objects, yep, wherever they reside, you're right, you need some form of agentless mechanism because they can't support an agent, right? So it'll be interesting to understand just a bit more about the mechanics in that.
We're working with a couple of utility companies today who are going through that challenge of the PSTN is dead, right? And they're trying to work out how they can connect pumping stations, right? I'll probably give away the customer there, right? They're down south, not the one up here. That means I've got more to choose from. They're looking at the challenges of how they monitor. So you think about IoT, right? So if you go into one of the major food chains today, right, their fridges are on IoT. So their core platform monitors the temperature readings of all of their devices through an IoT solution, which is, you class it as an OT as well to some extent if you're in utilities. So we're seeing that rise of, you know, it goes back to their side, the number of devices you have on your network is increasing 5-fold. And one of the challenges is how do you secure who's doing what in your network? Is that OT device connecting over the LAN and into the Wi-Fi? Who's managing it? That's a threat because you can't control where it accesses. And this is where we've seen the rise of that. Certainly with one of the, excuse me, the pharma companies, the pharmaceutical companies in North America has deployed this. That was one of the reasons they purchased, because they wanted that agentless capability. And also in government in North America, for them, the amount of legacy applications they had, traditional VPN clients just would not operate, right? And this is where having that agentless offers that capability as well. So thank you for the question, Malcolm. Appreciate it. Any other questions? I thought I seen a hand get up over there. No? No? Okay. But ask me a question anyway, because we've got 4 minutes, right? I was told to give 6 or 7 minutes for questions, right? Yes.
So I noticed on your earlier slides you'd mentioned the WAN optimization piece in your bottom right. How big a part of the offering is that these days?
So in a previous life, I was the boss of Riverbed UK and I. Riverbed was the preeminent WAN optimization provider, right? And the value of that technology at the time was latency and delay was destroying application performance as applications become more sensitive. A SQL database hated latency. So that's where Riverbed grew to a huge organisation. Silver Peak, as we were known as before, was the other competitor in that market space. If you looked at the revenue of that other company that I just mentioned, right, it's doing this. They're having to pivot because the amount of clients who still need WAN op has been dropping significantly. It's only used, so we have a huge customer base in the legal vertical. Why? Applications, international, data retention has been in certain countries. We've seen that as still as a massive use case for them as part of the platform. We still see it in engineering, architectural CAD type applications. That market's changing where a lot of the applications that are driven on the device rather than the data center, so the need for WAN op in that market's changing. But where you still have latency and delay is a big challenge, WAN op is still used. And we're the only vendor today that offers that fully integrated, right? It's a click choice now. So this is 15 years worth of capability now becomes, do I need it? Which applications actually need optimized? And it's a cost per service. It's a really interesting model of doing it. But the one area we've seen a rise in that market now, I mentioned some of the guys earlier on, your cloud consumption models. People, you see it in the IT press all the time, they're all thinking about, well, how much does it actually cost to put that application in that cloud provider? It's negligible. But as I want to draw down my data, and if I'm a university and I'm doing research and I've got terabytes of data that my research guys are accessing, my cost of adoption is insignificant because I'm charged per meg per download. With WAN optimization, with that technology, I'm deduplicating and I'm compressing. What does that mean? It means I draw down the data once. Next time I draw down the data, I'm only drawing down what I need. So you can get almost a 90% compression ratio by using legacy technology to support your cloud provision. And we get a great reference case from one of the Logos legal firms in London where they had a full cloud first strategy. And as soon as they put everything in the cloud, performance issues were significant for them, but then they seen the cost model change as well. So that's where, for me, the WAN op is it's an interesting story from our legacy, but we're the only one that has that real capability. Some SD-WAN vendors will talk about, well, yeah, we can do TCP compression, but they don't offer the full suite of capability. And that's one of the unique elements of the legacy Edge Connect. Thank you. But no, appreciate the question. Thank you. Any other questions? Don't want to go back over any of the slides, any challenges you want to give me? I'm more than happy, right? I love it. We've got 60 seconds. No, but listen, one other element of HPE. So I have an office in a place called Erskine, down by Glasgow Airport. It's an old compact factory. It's now a massive HPE facility. One of the things that we spoke about at COP26 is our focus on sustainability. So that facility in Erskine is one of the 3 global locations where we recycle IT. So as part of our financial services offering, we will buy your legacy equipment off of you as part of a package. And we'll take it to Erskine, we'll scrap it for you as well. We recycle, I think it's 70+% of those assets get recycled and go back out to the market. The office building is almost 4 football pitches in size of warehousing. And truckloads of kit come in, get scrapped, get stored, get sold on, or they get ripped down to their bare metals and put back out to the market. And we offer visits to that location as well. So I use the Erskine as one of our, it's not a customer experience and it's quite an old building, we use it as a meeting facility. and we can show people around what we're doing around sustainability. It's quite important as a large vendor, our view in society and how we look at sustainability, but we're quite proud of having that as part of a local area, and it's a huge part of our business now where we do that as part of a financial package to recycle your old equipment as well. Again, open to share stuff on that in the stand as well afterwards. But
Alan, I've got
yes.
a question for you. So I'm thinking about SaaS applications,
Uh-huh.
and it's all very well having one optimization from office to wherever that is, but with more and more folk working from home,
Uh-huh.
how do you deal with that?
So that's part of the SASE capability, right? Is because it's looking at where you're connecting to, and because we were aware of the points of presences, we have a low latency design around working from home. The other element is on the micro branch, the access point.
What I'm thinking about is the SaaS application might be in Europe,
Uh-huh.
our users might be in APAC.
Yep, and that's one of the challenges, right? So we see that's where the Atmos design is having that local point of presence to ensure we've got the fastest location to take you to the internet based on going from your device to the SASE POP. That's one of the core transit points that we've created. And the other element on a working from home strategy, that access point offering, right? That becomes part of a hub of the SD-WAN fabric. So we can configure WAN optimization for that user group. So that user group whose classes, let's say, power workers, as we may want to describe it, so they've got their own access point in their home network, maybe in a separate network connection or shared network connection, but it becomes a secure point for you to access your network. That can be a point where we optimize the application flows as well. So again, using that one facet of WAN op as part of the whole capability. But good question, thank you. Any other questions? No? Listen, thank you for your attention today. We've got the stand here today. Andy Stewart's my lead sales rep for Scotland. So more than happy if you want to have time with him as well. More than happy to have a conversation outside of this facility as well. So, but thank you very much for your time. Hopefully you have a good rest of conference. And thank you for your time this morning. Thank you.